This guy was playing basketball. Okay, yeah. What was that? You naming. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Please turn to hymn number 377, Rescue the Perishing. First, second, and last stanza. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying, snatch them in pity from sin and the grave. We poorly barren ones, lift up the fallen, tell them of Jesus the mighty to save. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying, Jesus is merciful, Jesus will save. Though they are slighting him, still he is waiting, waiting the repentant child to receive. Plead with me earnestly, plead with him gently, he will forgive if they only believe. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying, Jesus is merciful, Jesus will save. Rescue the perishing, duty demands it, strength for the labor the Lord will provide. Back to the narrow way, patiently bend them, tell the barometer a Savior has died. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying, Jesus is merciful, Jesus will save.
Okay, let's have you turn your Bibles to Mark 16:15. Mark 16:15. Today we're going to get a slideshow, and I think you'll enjoy it. Slideshow of this missionary that was in Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands. Okay, 16:15. Let's see. Okay. Verse 15 says, and Jesus said unto them, going into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. Okay. And so Jesus commands back then, the definition of creature is preach the gospel to all of creation. Okay. Back then, there was slavery, and some people did not believe that slaves were real people. So that's why Jesus wanted to include everybody. Okay. The biggie announcement is, so I got my lighter. The biggie announcement is this coming Friday. We'll be passing out flyers, and I just want to say something about flyer passing. Willie, can you give me a flyer example? Oh, do I have a flyer? Can you give me a flyer example? Okay, thanks. Okay, so we'll be passing out flyers actually every day this week. And let me tell you about which days and how many schools we're doing. On Monday, we're doing 3 schools. Tuesday, 2 schools. Wednesday, 1 school. Thursday, 1 school. And Friday, we're doing 5 schools. That's why we need your help this Friday. Okay. And I just want to say this. I want to recognize 2 people. It's going to be Melvin and Eric and Vincent that will be passing out flyers every day. So let's have Eric and Vincent stand up. Okay, here's Eric and Vincent. You can stand up and just give them a hand, okay? So Melvin still needs help. You can have a seat. Melvin still needs help, okay? So the numbers are Monday, there's 3. Tuesday, there's 2. Okay, Monday, 3. Tuesday, 2. Wednesday, 1. Thursday, or if you go to college, you do an R1. And Friday, 5. On the Friday 5, we really need your help on the 3:30, okay? So if you're a career person, high schoolers can't cut class, but if you're a career person, let's have you take off work. I know that you guys will be working for the next 50 years of your life, but you can't say, you know what, God, because I'm making money, I can't get no one saved. I'm making money, can't pass the flyer. I can't take off from work because I will lose money. So we're going to pay you whatever it takes, okay? $40 plus. If you make $40 an hour plus, we'll do it. Money's no object. This is the goal, okay? High schoolers, so show up at AP Giannetti at 3:30. This is for those that are adults. A lot of you guys remote work. A lot of you guys actually have flexible time, flexible days. But if you're in high school, meet at AP Giannetti at 4:30. We're going to have you pass out flyers to 5 beacon schools. What are the 5 beacon schools? AP Giannetti, Sunset, Francis Scott Key, R.S. Stevenson, and Ulloa. And we can't do it without you guys. And you guys actually get refreshments. I'll come up with a refreshment for you guys. Okay, so I think I announced everything there. And here's a couple of things to pray for. Pray that it doesn't rain. I think the weather forecast is it's going to be hot on Thursday. I don't know what it's going to be on Friday, but the rest of the week, it really drizzled hard on Saturday, didn't it? We don't want the flyers to get wet. Pray that the kids actually get the flyer, okay? And last of all, the flyer actually makes it to the parents, and the parents will pick up the flyer and read it, okay? So I'm going to talk about the wrong way to pass out flyers, okay? There was a young man who was passing out flyers for us, and no one wanted to take his flyers. So I had to ask him, what are you saying to these parents when you're passing out, or what are you saying to the kids? And he said, oh, do you want to go to Chinese school? I said, no kid wants to go to Chinese school. It's like, do you like to have more homework? No kids want some more homework. So I said, okay, this is what you're going to say. It's going to be one word, okay? To you is one word, but to us normal people, it's 2 words. You go like this. Thank you. That's it. He takes it. And he feels obligated because I already thanked him, even though he hasn't taken it yet, okay? Now, if you want a longer sentence, don't say, do you ever notice there's no word that says Chinese school on this? Because we figured out, the kid says, oh, I see the word Chinese school, and then he chucks it, right? So, come on, I was a kid. I didn't want to go to Chinese school. But this is how gullible kids are. Oh, I don't understand what this means. Mother, what does this mean? And the mother says, oh, yes, you're going to Chinese school. It's too late. Okay, so that's the best part. So, when you see a parent and a child walk together, who should you give flyers out to? The answer is, give it to the child. Say thank you. They'll take it. You say the parent, you might say no thank you. Okay, so that's a little psychology here when we're about to pass out flyers. Remember, do not say, do you want to go to Chinese school? You might as well not pass out the flyer. Okay. I remember I never wanted to go to Chinese school, and well, okay, my parents made me go. So I actually have to say that it was good for me, okay? I learned a lot of Mandarin when I went to Taiwan, though, okay? When you go immersion, you just learn it without even thinking. So now we got it. Today you get to see my slideshow on Papua New Guinea. And let's darken the room. Someone turn the blinds. And I will wrestle with this. This is not easy. Oh, God. What is this? Is it on silent night? It will be on silent night. Yeah. Okay, so as you probably know, last month I went to Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands. And I'm going to show you some interesting things. Most of you guys have probably never heard of the Solomon Islands, nor will go there, okay? So, can someone turn off the lights? Thank you. So, we're going to show you a map of the Solomon Islands, and I'm going to show you where, let's see if I can press the right thing. Okay, so this is Australia, this is China, India, Japan, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and these are the Solomon Islands. It's so insignificant, it doesn't even have a name here. Okay, next slide. So we're going to get a little bit closer. Australia, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands.
And let's see if I go to the next slide. So, whoops, that was nice. Okay, so hopefully we can figure out how to get this together. Slide. I'm curious.
It's,
Is it the museum? For those of you, let's go back one. So I'm going to tell you a little history about this area. Let's go back one more. Before World War I, the European powers divided this area. Okay, England gets Australia. Indonesia is Dutch. Okay, Southeast Asia is French, and then they divided this area. French New Caledonia. This is England, and let's go to Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands. Okay, so this is basically the same people. Okay, and it's not like, oh, this is the Dutch people and these are the German people. Okay, and these are the British people. These islands are the same people. Okay, so for your information, Australia eventually ended up taking this, that, and this. You know that the people here and the people here aren't different. But this is the Australian side, and this is the English side, the Solomon Islands. So they're the same people. Okay, next slide. Okay, so here's the museum, and we're going to go inside the museum, see what the people look like or their culture. They make boats and baskets, and here's some animals. And this is a tree kangaroo, for those who don't know. This is a cassowary. And we're going to see the animals a little bit better. Okay, what's the next slide? It's the Victoria crown pigeon. Can you see the little crowns coming off there? Next slide. Oh yeah, the crowns. Okay. This is the bird of paradise. I couldn't get it to do the mating dance because it wasn't trying to attract me, but it was trying to get away from me. Okay, but next slide. Okay, this is. Oh yeah, let's test somebody. Okay, Elliot, what is this? Yeah, it's a flying fox. The Papua New Guinea flying fox, and there's several foxes. One there, one there, one there, one there. So kind of cool. But don't walk underneath the tree because they might go to the bathroom, right? So next slide. This is the Kookaburra. Next slide. This is a wallaby. Okay. Next slide. And this is the unusual one, the tree kangaroo. It never walks on the ground. It's only in the trees. And the next slide is an animal I've never heard of. Okay. If you've heard of it, raise your hand. It's called the cuzcuz. I thought I've heard of everything. Here's the next one is the cuzcuz. Now, how do you describe that? Okay, besides it's ugly. Okay, so I think it's a cross between a tree kangaroo and a possum and a quoll. Okay, I don't have a picture of a quoll, but I have one at home. Okay, so those are the animals of Papua New Guinea, and what else do I have to say? Okay, let's talk about the message here. Okay, next slide. So now we know that people, the animals, during World War II, the Japanese started attacking Pearl Harbor, which we don't have. They attacked China, Indochina, the Philippines, Indonesia, and now they're trying to extend to Papua New Guinea and to Australia. Finally, the Americans get into the war in 1941. Remember, the Japanese started attacking back in 1939 and earlier. We didn't get into the war till we got hit. So the Japanese are trying to take over. They actually bombed Australia. They're trying to take over this island and the Solomon to cut off supplies from the United States that comes directly here. So let's go to the next slide. So here we are, Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands. So the Japanese have taken over these islands. The United States to go in there and get the Japanese out. So the Japanese are patrolling their boats up and down here. And next slide. Okay, so here you can see this, right? This island, and they have Spanish names here because the original discoverers were Spanish. Okay? And this, look at the next slide.
So this is called Guadalcanal. The Japanese had an Air Force base here, and the United States has to take over this island. And for those of you who know history, I'm going to ask Ethan, what happened at Guadalcanal? I thought you're a history buff. Okay, the Americans were able to stop the Japanese from extending any further from Guadalcanal, and after that, the Japanese started losing. Okay, so I actually went to the island of Guadalcanal, and let's look at the next slide. So here's a picture of a World War II airplane, and there's another airplane right there. So I never noticed it till it was blown up, right? So when you go, there's a big memorial, a graveyard with lots of American soldiers who died there. And next slide. They at the memorial, they have this nice statue. The statue is a statue of an Australian soldier looking through binoculars. His soldier friend on the radio, and I know you can't see this very well, but this is a tribesman from, tribesman from Papua New Guinea with a machete in his hand, chomping away through the forest. Okay, so we really needed their help to win this war because it was filled with mosquitoes. We couldn't get through the forest. They knew all the secret pathways and the islands. So let's talk about one particular event that happened during World War II. I think it's a map. Okay, so the Japanese were coming down this up and down, and the Americans had to somehow stop them, especially right there. We're going to focus on one particular event that happened with patrol boat near this island right here. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so the Japanese were going all throughout these islands. They were stationed in this island, they were stationed on that island, and still the U.S. had to patrol this area. So this is the strategy of the patrol boat. Okay, the Japanese would bring their destroyers up and down here, and in the middle of the night, if the patrol boat can't, they would release their torpedoes and hit one of the destroyers. But in most cases, because it's at night, no one can hit anyone, and no one can see anyone. It's all dark. So in this particular case, next slide. Okay, let's go back one. Okay, remember this large circle. Hey, next slide. Here we are, the large circle, and we're going to focus on this area. So the Japanese were coming down here, and what they happened to do is ram into a U.S. patrol boat and cut it into two, and the patrol burnt a boat at 2 a.m., exploded. Lots of people were burnt. There were still others that survived. And we're going to hold it there. So let me just continue with the story. And Willie, I'm going to end early, which is what we kind of want. Okay. So the patrol boat, they all gathered together under Lieutenant John. Okay. Lieutenant John says, okay, let's all stick together. We're going to have, this is 2 a.m. We're going to have to hold hands and grab onto this boat and hold on to the injured people that are burnt all night. And we're going to all pray that we're going to be rescued. Okay. So I'm going to ask Matthew, did they get rescued?
Yeah.
Okay, no. Okay, so I know it's a trick question. So no, they did not get rescued, and they were there all night. So here we are all day. So let's look at the next slide. Okay, let's continue. Go to the last one. No, not that. Yeah, the last slide, not the next slide. Okay. I should have used ultimate. I should have used last in Spanish. Okay, so then they held hands, held onto the boat all day long until 1 p.m. Okay, and did they get rescued? What do you think? Oh yeah, she said no. She guessed correctly. Okay, they did not get rescued. In fact, it got worse. What happened was, oh yeah, you guys, there's a seat there, and you can float out a seat over there. And there's a seat right there, right? Whose jacket is that? Is it Pat Gibson's? Oh, it's yours? Okay, so at 1 p.m., they continued praying all day, and according to Mandy, they did not get rescued. In fact, the boat started to sink. Okay, so now it gets bad. Let's go to the next slide. So the boat started to sink somewhere here in the center. Okay, they have a choice. They can fly. What am I saying? Fly. They can swim to this island filled with Japanese, or they can swim to. Wow. Okay, this island filled with Japanese. Okay, so we're going to give some choices here. Let's ask Courtney. So, Courtney, which island would you swim to if you knew there were Japanese on that island and that the two largest islands that are Japanese? Which island would you swim to? Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. There's only one problem with her island. So this is like 5-10 miles away. Okay, and there's this one girl. Has anyone here swam over 1 mile? Okay, so there's this one girl on the other side. Her name is Caitlin. I asked Caitlin to come over. I said, Caitlin's the only one I know who can swim 1 mile. Okay, so they were located here, and the closest island would be here, but they knew the Japanese were here, so they had to swim to another island that was 3 miles away. So the majority can't swim 3 miles, but they really prayed, and Lieutenant John had to hold on to the burnt guy with a rope that was floating and swim 3 miles with rope in his mouth. So let's try to find, they didn't want this island, but there's a little island here that we can't see. Let's blow it up. Okay, so, no, not the Fat Boys Island, but, oh, there it is. Oh, let's go back. I'm very curious. Did we even see that? You mean that island, right? Okay, let's go back and see if that island is. Yeah, okay. So let's go back one again. Okay, so they swam to this island. Okay, and of course, whose turn is it next? Okay, so they finally got to that island, and well, let's see. So I'm going to ask Wesley. When they got to this island here, do you think God had water and food there ready for them? No, they did not. Okay, so let's go to that island. Okay, so there's no food or water on that island. They were there for several days and they're about to die. So several of the good swimmers said, okay, we can't do this. This is where the Japanese are. So whose turn is it next? Is it Jacqueline's turn? So which island will you go to next? Very good. How do you know? Wait, you know the story? No, okay, she just did it logically. The logical one is no food here, Japanese here, maybe there's something here. Okay, so the scouts came here, they said, oh yeah, there are green coconuts. So they had to swim this distance again, very difficult. And basically they're running out of food. Okay, after a few days, and they prayed really hard that God would rescue them. So whose turn is it now? Okay, might as well use, let me think. If I can remember the names, I can. Okay, well, so it's going to be Weldon's next. So they prayed really hard. They're running out of food and water. And do you think God rescued them there? No. Okay, they didn't. But eventually what happened unusual was that there were two natives that were canoeing. And they didn't want to go to the Japanese island. They knew where the Japanese islands are, so they were just going to all the islands, and they accidentally hit this island, and the two natives got there, and they didn't speak English, and the surviving men, I think 11 of them by this point, had to talk to them and tell them that they were Americans. Okay? So I want you guys to think in the audience, if you were, those of you as an adult, how would you tell them that you are an American if they don't speak English? Okay, so I'm going to ask Kevin. What? How would you tell them that you're an American and they don't speak English? So this is, does anyone want to guess? This is what one of the men did. Okay? He drew in the sand. He did. Okay. So we all know this is a star, and they pointed at their t-shirts, white star. So what country in World War II has the white star? The United States. Fortunately, they didn't draw the red sun. Oh, wow. How do you know? Okay, thank you, Mel. Okay, so I'm not done yet, but who told him? Okay, so I'm not done yet. So they showed him the white star and he said, okay. And then the natives who didn't speak English said, okay, white star, you're American. And then they went away. But before they went away, one of the men carved on the coconut a message. And they gave the coconut to the natives. And they didn't know whether or not the Japanese would arrest these guys and kill them. But they prayed that the coconut would go somewhere. Eventually, they brought the coconut to the only one who spoke English that they knew. There was a missionary in the area that learned their language. They gave the missionary who spoke the language the coconut. And the missionary told the natives, oh, yeah, these are Americans. We need to help them. And eventually the missionary gave the coconut to somebody from New Zealand. And after a few days, nothing happened. The natives came back this time with food and water and a message. The message was from the New Zealand officer to stay put, hide from the Japanese. When the coast is clear, we'll actually bring a PT boat to rescue you. So I just want to say this. Eventually the PT boat came, rescued them. They all made it out alive. And let's show them the last slide. Okay, this is the coconut. Okay, still exists today. It's in one of the United States. And I just want to say this. The whole story centered. You see, the missionary came, learned the language, got hundreds saved, and the missionary did something else. He got the naval officer saved. We will never know the name of that missionary, but one day we will meet that missionary in heaven and thank him. Today, you and I are that missionary, okay? This paper will save hundreds of people, just like the missionary. We are that missionary. And I just want to say this. It is said that in heaven, there is no prayer because we can talk to God directly. Also in hell, it's too late. They have no chance to pray anymore. This Friday, you and I will have that chance to give everybody at the school a chance to survive. Okay, let's bow for a word of prayer. Dear God, we want to thank you for that missionary. He reached a lot of people, the natives. He helped save the sailors. And we are that missionary this coming Friday. So let us go out there, try to save some lives. We want to thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so let's have you turn on the lights, and someone can turn the blinds, and I will lift this up. Okay, so at this point, my message is done. Melvin has, so like I said, we're passing out flyers, 3 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, 1 on Wednesday, 1 on Thursday, 5 on Friday. We really need your help on Friday. Now, if some of you are actually available on Monday or Tuesday, you can tell Melvin. Okay, so Melvin, I'll have you take over. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. All right, so Willie helped me get them